Welcome to Chelsea 2025 and the South African stand, which is named the Cape Floral Kingdom of South Africa. The process started about a year ago where we submitted the design. The inspiration came from our beautiful mountains, our wonderful rivers, and of course our flora. But when it comes to intricate design, the cliffs and the beaches, the Storms River mouth in the Western Cape was the inspiration for that element. Although creating this display took about 10 days to build, the journey began back home in South Africa. This is the Western Cape in South Africa. This is the home of fynbos, and one of the most famous plants that is grown for export all around the world is the protea. And on this farm it is the Grande King Protea. And this is where the story also starts on our journey to go to the Chelsea Flower Show. We select the best flowers, some unique flowers, and there's a lot of care taken into that process of getting the flower to London in the most perfect condition. We visit lots of protea farms, fynbos farms, to go and find some interesting plants, interesting specimens, plants and flowers that people have not seen yet. And this is one of them. Because the severe weather that the Cape is famous for can damage a lot of the flowers just before export, they are given some extra care, some extra protection, like this little cushion over its head. Now when the flower just starts to break open, that's the time to harvest. Early morning, the little cushion is taken off, plant is harvested, taken to the shed, and so the process of traveling all the way to the UK starts.
It really is a very, very long process. If you think all of this is propagated from cuttings. So what we do is we take the cuttings, put them in a growth medium, and then it takes a couple of months for it to root. But you know, then it also has to be the right time to plant. We only plant if the soil temperature goes to above 13 degrees Celsius. And then once it's in the ground, we have to start looking after it. It's an expensive process. It's a very manual process as well when it comes to the pruning. And the first harvest will be 3 to 4 years. I've had so many people ask me when I say I farm with proteas, they say, but don't you just pick them in the wild? But no, these export proteas are planted in orchards, they're nurtured, they're tended.
But all the flowers that we take to London, Chelsea Flower Show, is all farmed.
Yes.
All from flower farms, fynbos farms. And as you rightly say, a lot of people think it's wildly picked, but it's not.
And also, you know, the thing about the Chelsea Flower Show that is so amazing, just from my point of view, being a protea farmer, is that we only have a couple of varieties on this farm. You know, this is what we grow, this is what we're known for. But to see it all come together in one, the whole of the South African protea industry represented, fynbos industry more like it, is, I can't explain, you know, it's goosebump stuff for us, because, you know, to know that you are a small part of a much bigger picture.
A big family.
A big family, and also South Africans, you know, we love a feel-good story. And when we see our flowers overseas and we see how beautiful they are and how successful they are, we're proud.
It's always the most exciting part, like months and months of organizing, going to the farms, going to look at the buds, hoping and praying that there's no rain whilst we're harvesting. Everything at customs is okay, flights are not cancelled. So many things going through your mind and through your little tick-off list, and at long last the truck arrives. So now there's only one more tick to do. It's opening the box and see what we got and that they're in a good condition. It's like Christmas. That's a big deal. This is the most proteas at one point for one installation anywhere in the world. It's a lot of fynbos. Farms are empty.
So the long journey from South Africa for all of these cut flowers have finally come to an end. And we can now unbox all our treasures that all the farmers in South Africa have so carefully assembled for us. So this is a very important time for us now to get our crayons for our painting that we are now starting to build.
So as you can see, we're busy cutting flowers. These flowers specifically coming from the Bredasdorp area in South Africa. And these flowers specifically comes from Ikudu Farms. Ikudu Farms is one of our small-scale farmers, and we are so proud to see that their handwork and their flowers are actually making it international. So it's a very proud moment for me.
Oh, now I'm preparing the buckets for Leon so that he can put in his flowers in a nice and very sustainable way, since everything it has to be environmental friendly. So this is the best way that we can possibly do to put those flowers up. This fiber floral that we are using this year, it's organic and very sustainable to use, but we have to be also a little bit creative. So that's why I'm putting this wire on top so that it goes through the wire and then to the fiber floral. Once you put it up, it's there. So we need it to be held on tight, and then that's it. We'll keep going on with the work.
So we don't get all the flowers from South Africa. Some flowers are just a little bit too soft or out of season. So we come to the flower market in London and come and look for all kinds of interesting South African soft flowers that we can use in our display. And we found some fabulous plants. So we have Gloriosas, which is from the coast in KZN, all the way in Mpumalanga, Zimbabwe. Some beautiful spotless arum lilies. Then we have Chinkering cheese, and beautiful red hot pochas that's starting to flower now. And then my favorite, which is the first time we're using it here at Chelsea for our display, is Sandersonias. So they're absolutely beautifully in season at the moment. So this is a nice little soft addition to the garden above all our Proteaceae.
I loved last year. So it was wonderful to be part of that team and what we achieved. And it was a total education because I'd never done that before.
I got involved through my involvement with Grootbos. So I'm a Grootbos artist for their Floral Legion. And a couple of years ago, we thought it would be amazing to have the connection with Grootbos and Chelsea. And managed to get South Africa back last year, and very successfully.
So this is the last day. So everything comes to this point where it's now the final touches. We need to clean up the garden, put name tags on, make sure that all the gaps are filled, make sure that all the dead leaves are taken off, damaged leaves, damaged flowers, replace them. So it's all about the finer details today. We still have one beach to do, but I hope we get that done by lunchtime. So now we're placing some of the orchids on the wall. Those are the plants we use last because we don't want them to damage or age, so we store them safely. The beach will be done with the sand today. We're doing a few last touches of some wildflowers in between our shy proteas. So a very special part of this garden is the water. So we had a lot of rooibos tea bags that we soaked into the water to give that off the tannines. So as you hike into the Cape Mountains, you always see that the water has got that dark,
Coca-Cola color, that amber color, and that's exactly what we want to portray here, and it worked beautifully. Unfortunately, the foxes also love that smell of the tea, so every night they come and sniffle a little bit and drink a little bit of our tea. Now on this side, we're doing with all the leftover flowers, we're doing a few bunches to give away to some special guests, but also to sell at the end of the show. So this is our last piece of construction left to do for the day. We still have a lot to do. One or two very special plants that we're going to put in here to accentuate this area. Each and every species on this stand gets its own little label and its names, so that people can learn a little bit more about our fynbos.
Would you like to try some wine? Same one. Yes, it's rosé.
So this mountain of fynbos had a very narrow canyon that snakes through. There's a little window to look through, but you can't really see the other side. You just see a little bit of light and a slight movement. That's exactly what I want to try and achieve, because it forces you to walk all around the garden and come and see all the little hidden spots that we've created. So on the eastern side of the garden, we have a more warmer, richer color, which is the yellows and the oranges, which is portrayed by the leucospermums, which is the pincushions, the ornithogalums or chinkering cheese, and then the gorgeous Sandersonias over there, which is so rare to see in South Africa. Some of the most famous plants that grow on the cliffs in these canyons close to the Indian Ocean is plants such as Streptocarpus, which is used worldwide as pot plants in indoor house environments. But this is how their natural environments look like. We even have two lilies on the stand. First of all, the very famous Sandersonias, or Christmas bells. And then we have the Gloriosa, or the flame lily, which is all on the coastlines of KwaZulu-Natal up into Zimbabwe. It's always a beautiful feature in summer, in the summer rainfall areas. And then a very famous plant that's used all around the world as a bedding plant is, of course, the agapanthus, uniquely South African. A very exciting addition to this garden is my edging, which is inspired by the traditional basket weaving of South Africa. And it really encases all the flowers like they're almost bulging out of this basket, because South Africa is, after all, the flower basket of Africa. One of my favorite proteas on the stand is Protea robin. Now, it's not the biggest protea on the stand, might not have the brightest color, but it starts out slow. It has this brown bud, but slowly throughout the week they start to open, and you have these beautiful ivory colored sparkles that just lighten up the garden display. So one of the most famous proteas is obviously the king protea, Protea cineroides. Cineroides comes from the word sayonara, which means artichoke. And that resemblance is very strong in its flower buds. And you can see how the flower buds, just before they open, looks like artichokes. And that's exactly why I use them in the garden as buds, because that's easily just as beautiful as an open flower. This is the welcoming moment of the South African display. And on this side we have the representation of the cold Atlantic Ocean and the beach leading into the canyon. Now there are some very west coasty plants up here, like the chinkering cheese, the ornithogalums. We also have some of the diascias that grows into the sand.
the restios, and then slowly but surely it goes into the more greener canyon that we have cutting through the display. If you've ever hiked in the Western Cape, one of the most obvious things is the water. It's got this amber, almost Coca-Cola color to it. And that's because of all the tannins leaching over the years into the water from the fynbos. Now we recreated that exact color in our water element in this garden using rooibos tea, which is the same effect. The tannins out of the rooibos tea leaching into this water, giving it this beautiful amber color. One of the Cape's most iconic plants, and it grows on our most iconic mountain, Table Mountain, is Dizas uniflora. And it flowers in February, Valentine's time, beautiful red flowers. Now we've never had it on our displays here at Chelsea because it's not its flowering time. But this year we had a special delivery from somebody forcing the flowers a little bit early for us, and we had 6 plants in our display in beautiful full flower and growing in this display as I would on Table Mountain, in between the seepage where the water trickles through the moss. The garden doesn't only have proteas from the Cape. There's some strong representation from the northern parts of South Africa, and one of the feature plants from that region is the Scodoxus over there, which is the paintbrush lily. They are just about to open. In South Africa they're not in flower now, but there are some growers here in Europe which grows them to perfection as cut flower plants. So proteas are also very promiscuous, and they hybridize quite easily with one another. And that's why every year at the Chelsea Flower Show we're able to bring some new varieties, hybrids, to the show for people to enjoy that they've never seen before. The South African floral display here at the Chelsea Flower Show 2025 is a testament to all the hard work from the cut flower farmers, the pickers, the transport companies, to, in the end of the day, after a whole year of planning, bringing all of those elements together in one place for the world of horticulture and flower arranging and landscaping to come and enjoy, and trigger them to come and look at our fantastic flora that we have back home, and to come and visit us and see it for real in our mountainscapes. Morning.
Congratulations.
Dankie.
Ja.
Dankie.
Ja, dankjewel. Ja, dus ik kan ook een beetje mee. Ja, ik kan ook een beetje.
Just check.
Are you chicken?
Check.
You beauty, you beauty.
It is the most unbelievably beautiful, beautiful garden. I think you and your team are spectacular, beyond spectacular, honestly. Been at the highlight of my life, let alone my day.
I mean, I think I'm a wannabe South African, so I have to say it brings back my memories of South Africa sort of very strongly, which is really exciting, but genuine South African.
Yeah, well, I'm a South African. I've lived here for just over a year, and coming here, it just warms my heart. It's just spectacular, absolutely.
I'm beyond proud as a South African. I've never seen such a plethora of the most beautiful collection of South African plants. An inspired design and the streptocarpus in the gorge with the lovely mountain water, outstanding.
This, it's something that I never thought that will happen to me. And then the team that I've been working with, it made me realize how important it is to be part of the horticulture industry. Showcasing these proteas to the world and then showing people how biodiversity of South Africa looks like, especially the flora industry. Because most of the people, they go to South Africa and looking for the big five and all that. And then we show them this. I'm sure each and everyone will be like, no, I'm going to South Africa. This is where I'm going. I'm proud of that.
I never thought I'd be involved with a project like this. I'm so passionate about South African flowers, and I treat them with great care. Here at the Chelsea Flower Show, we need to present them at their best.
And when they arrive in this type of quality, they really speak for themselves. So we are merely custodians of these beautiful species and hybrids from the cut flower industry. And it's just such an honor to work with these precious plants. So there's lots of sacrifices that one has to endure to produce a display like this. Constructing these green canyons with the streptocarpus and the moss, it's all worth it once you see the picture coming together. Once you've seen these plants in their natural habitat in South Africa, it's really easy to replicate this in this type of setting, so the viewer can really appreciate the flowers here at the Chelsea Flower Show.
Oh, I'm so proud. I feel like a big protea. Like my face is like, ah. But it's amazing. I'm so proud to represent my country and my company, and I don't think I expected it to be this intense. Like all the moving parts between, like we don't really think about when you look at this full thing. That's the small details is what brings it all together. But I guess like with all the videos we made, people will get to experience the pieces in between, and I think that's what makes it special as well.
5 years ago, I still imagined myself in Kruger National Park. So this is something special. The vibe around here, it's so amazing to see people that are crazy about nature, about gardens, about everything. So, wow, this is something big. I've never imagined something like this.
It's quite a surreal experience. You know, we spent a year planning for this. It's been so much hard work. It's been a really, really intense week. And everything just pays off. Being here and seeing the gold and being here with this incredible team, surrounded by these beautiful flowers, and seeing the response from everybody visiting the stand. I've always felt that plants speak to me, and you know, a lot of people don't really notice and see them, and I always feel like plants need to get a voice. And what better way to give plants a voice than to bring them here to Chelsea on the world stage, where they can be appreciated by millions.
I'm very, very happy and working with the team and the people. Everybody is so welcoming and kind and very serious about making an excellent creation. And I loved it, the vibe in every minute.
They're a phenomenal team, and I'm very happy to have them under my wings. I just love being part of it, their energy. I love what they do. I love their integrity. I love the manner in which they work and they think, and they care about the people that they work with. Very, very proud to be associated with the people such as Leon and Tristan and the people that they surround themselves with.
3, 2, 1. It's been the most. It's like a dream come true. You know, I've watched this build. I've seen the generational change of who the new guard is in gardening in the world and internationally, and who's leading South Africa to great heights. And Leon and Tristan have literally moved the cheese. They've taken us from a fynbos protea display to something that turns heads, that shows the world our flora of what we can offer. And purely by the gasps, by the reactions, I've got goosies. I was blown away by the proteas that we saw, and I live in South Africa. The quality of the plants that arrived in boxes that emerge still perfect. But beyond all of that, it's a feeling. It's a feeling of intense proudness, and what a pure honor it is for me to be here. I didn't think that would ever happen. So to be here, and I actually think it's only sunken now. I mean, there's been so much jumping around, and and this is through a lot of hard work and a lot of belief from our investors. Our investors put their belief in a creative team, and creativity can go either way. And especially when you are moving the envelope and you're pushing for new heights and new boundaries. And we're incredibly grateful. So thank you to our investors.
Oh, I don't know what to say, to be honest.
I'm liking this.
You know, you work your whole life in the industry, and you work yourself up to be able to exhibit at the Chelsea Flower Show. That's always been my extended goal in my career, and to have achieved it now for the 4th time is very special. And I couldn't do it with so many elements that had to come together to achieve this. The farmers, the farm workers, my wonderful team here, and the support and the sponsors. In the end of the day, it all comes together so beautifully. This little medal means a hell of a lot to me, to South Africa, for our floral kingdom, and it just puts us on a different level. And it's a goal, a personal goal of mine, and it's one that I want to keep high and keep South Africa, you know, on the highest pedestal when it comes to my industry and our beautiful natural spaces that we have in South Africa. This is an accumulation of everything I've done in my career. It's the pinnacle point. And from a childhood, not playing a lot of soccer or rugby or sports, but playing with flowers and putting flowers in different textures together. It's been a passion of mine, and this is the ultimate stage for it. There's no bigger stage. There's no bigger audience for it as well. So yeah, it's something very special.